Addiction.
Example, he is trying to save his marriage by going to counseling for his drug addiction.
Drug.
Baldness is one side effect of the drug.
We should take an immediate action to prevent the drug trafficking.
Allergy.
Treat.
You should treat different types of people in different ways. How is your current employer treating you?
Trigger.
Nuts can trigger off a violent allergic reaction. Example, let's discover the trigger for abrupt climate change.
Dehydration.
Avoid. We must reduce the cost by half to avoid a budget deficit.
We should avoid using military force to solve conflicts.
Disease.
Common disease. Cancer is now becoming the most common disease in society.
This disease can be prevented in several ways.
Transmit.
Diagnose.
Example, they diagnosed her with dyspraxia.
Infection. The doctor prescribed antibiotics for his throat infection.
My computer has a virus infection.
Bacterial.
Stroke.
He's a beautiful dog, can I stroke him? What a beautiful stroke, he won by 2 strokes.
Administer.
Example, governmental programs must be administered without prejudice. In China, state schools are funded and administered by the education sector within the government.
Examine. The police are keen to stop and examine that unbelievable car. The teacher wants to examine her own students. Vaccinate. All children under 6 years old are vaccinated for free.
Cancer.
Cancer is now becoming the most common disease in society.
There is a direct connection between smoking and lung cancer.
Suffer.
Many countries have been suffering due to the economic depression.
He suffered from one of the most common forms of cancer.
Donor.
She was overwhelmed with joy when she found out that she had an organ donor.
An anonymous donor.
Tobacco. Did you know that smoking tobacco is harmful to your health? They grow a lot of tobacco in this area.
Archaeology.
Example, he was a pioneer in the field of archaeology. Example, aerial photography has revolutionized the study of archaeology.
Lecturer.
Department. I'm a student enrolled in the English department. Which department are you working in?
Professor. The professor gave him advice on his dissertation. Since 2009, she has worked as a professor of software engineering.
Maritime.
Astronomy.
Enthusiast.
He used to be enthusiastic at the beginning of the project.
That enthusiastic executive stayed at our village to examine the problem.
Planetary.
Economics.
Economics is not an exact science.
Many aspiring sales representatives attend seminars in sales techniques or take courses in marketing, economics, communication, or even a foreign language.
Geology. Linguistics.
Tim did a 3-year course in linguistics at Newcastle.
Psychology.
Sociology.
Example, he is a graduate in sociology.
Analyze.
The first step is to define and analyze the problem. Example, blood samples were analyzed in the laboratory.
Claim. They claim that he is a liar. Scientists claim that they are researching a cure for cancer.
Define.
They need to define the processes of their program.
How would you define a patriotic person?
Law.
We should create some laws to govern school attendance.
It's against the law to smoke here.
Evaluate.
Employees are evaluated on their merit and not on seniority. It's important to evaluate your competition when making a business plan.
Theory.
The researchers haven't found any scientific evidence for the theory of magic.
It sounds fine in theory, but we have to think it through.
Essay.
You should rewrite your essay because your ideas are too general.
The last passage in an essay usually summarizes the main points covered in that essay.
Archaeology. Accompany.
It is said that she will accompany him to his tour. Example, it is said that she will accompany him to his tour.
Delay.
She forgot to inform me of the meeting delay.
We can neither delay nor cancel the trip.
Encounter.
Tourists can easily encounter a deer while visiting this site.
The story describes the extraordinary encounter between a man and a dolphin.
Overcome.
Unity will help all of us overcome this difficult time, so stay close together and move forward. His imaginative leadership helps his team overcome all problems.
Seek.
You should seek advice from your financial advisor before deciding on appropriate insurance cover. Example, we are seeking for the missing man in the entire county.
Approval.
Several people nodded in approval. Tacit approval support knowledge.
Challenge.
Face the challenges. A family must stick together to face the challenges of life. Don't worry, we'll be by your side whenever you face any challenges.
Route.
Complacency is the route to disaster. Motorists are advised to find an alternative route.
Trade.
Trade union. Trade unions are organizations that represent and protect workers at work.
Retail trade was less successful this year.
Intense.
Students are in intense competition for getting accepted into prestigious universities.
She felt intense anxiety before the operation.
Pivotal.
A pivotal role in European affairs.
Position. Current position. Are you satisfied with your current position in the company? A difficult position. Her decision put her colleagues in a difficult position.
Profound.
A profound hatred of war. She felt nothing but hatred for her attacker. Profound insights.
Valuable. Mary inherited a lot of valuable jewelry from her grandmother. The thief broke into the villa and stole a lot of valuable things last night. Map. It's right there on the map. Do you have a map I could use? Advice.
I always get the best advice from my father.
Practical advice. My teacher often gives me practical advice.
Debate.
Let's debate the issues.
Rarely has a debate attracted so much media attention.
Item.
How many items are there in the box? There are 5 items on the bill.
Shock.
His wife's death has come as a great shock to him.
She felt shocked because things happened so suddenly.
Community. People in the community should help each other. This activity will benefit the whole community.
Diameter.
The inner diameter is easily adjusted.
Circumference. Height.
Average height. The average height of Vietnamese women is 1.5 meters.
She's about average height.
Length. What is the length of this bridge? The river is 100 kilometers in length. Measure. This device is to measure the water level, so we know how much is in the lake. High grades are not enough to measure a student's ability.
Radius.
Volume. Could you turn the volume down? I'm trying to study. He's overloaded with the sheer volume of business. Width. They tried to measure the width of the room with their feet. They don't know the exact width of the table.
Adjust.
I've made a few adjustments to the design. The brakes need to be adjusted.
Decrease.
Inflation causes the value of money to decrease.
There is a big decrease in temperature in the winter.
Extend.
I would like to extend my membership.
No smoking area is being extended in my town.
Convey.
Collars like red convey a sense of energy and strength. Example, he has difficulty conveying his thoughts to the rest of the group.
Reinforce.
Employees reinforced their learning with practice in the workplace. Example, design and deliver training to clients to reinforce best practices and legal compliance.
Mutually.
Secure.
The hostess secured us another chair, so we could eat together. The government has been working to secure the release of the hostages.
Suspend.
We regret to inform you that your account has been suspended. Production has been suspended while safety checks are carried out.
Notion.
They espoused the notion of equal opportunity for all in education. A political system based on the notions of equality and liberty.
Victory.
Narrow victory. Real Madrid gets a narrow victory at Rayo Vallecano on November 2nd.
He swept to victory in the final of the championship.
Peace. In peace. After continuous conflict for many years, the two countries finally live side by side in peace. World peace. We should try our best to ensure world peace.
Belief. The incident has shaken my belief in the police. It is beyond belief that he could commit such a crime.
Diameter.
Commuter.
Example, the metro carries millions of commuters to work every day.
Congestion.
There was congestion on this street from the strike by bus drivers.
Many streets are broadened to relieve traffic congestion.
Traffic.
You should go before rush hour, or you'll be stuck in traffic jams. We should take an immediate action to prevent the drug trafficking.
Cause. A cause of stress. Having too much free time can surprisingly be a cause of stress. Without good cause. I never do anything without good cause.
Reduce.
The government should take action to reduce the unemployment rate. I think we need to make changes in the tax rate in order to reduce the budget deficit.
Resident.
The residents in the village want to protect the local precious plants. They leased the land from a local resident.
Evacuate.
Police evacuated nearby buildings.
Report.
You have 1 day to finish your report.
Remember to send me your report by Saturday afternoon.
Deport.
Example, illegal immigrants need to be deported.
Illegal.
It's illegal to force a child to work.
It's illegal to read others' letters without their permission.
Skilled.
He is a skilled carpenter. We need skilled workers and technical know-how.
Visa.
We accept payment by Visa Electron, Visa, Switch, Maestro, MasterCard, JCB, Solo, check or cash. We spent a long time haggling with the authorities over our visas.
Infrastructure.
A civil engineering degree prepares you to work in various engineering areas, from construction to communications infrastructure. Example, we've gotten to the point where our infrastructure problems are so large in scope.
Transport.
Means of transport. What means of transport will you use to go to Paris?
The old man is a foot passenger. He prefers to walk than to take any transportation.
Rail. The train was going so fast that it almost flew off the rails. I went to a sushi bar where all the plates were moving on a tiny rail around the tables.
Neighborhood.
He shouted so loudly that the whole neighborhood could hear him.
Pioneering.
Historic.
To deal with this old case, we must place it in its historical context. The pagoda is a part of the nation's precious historical heritage.
Warfare.
Rooftop.
Commuter.
Example, the metro carries millions of commuters to work every day.
Rooftop. Rooftop.
Advocate.
The group does not advocate the use of violence. Example, the group does not advocate the use of violence.
Legislation.
The legislation will be difficult to enforce. New legislation makes it an offense to carry guns.
Acknowledge.
It is generally acknowledged to be true. Example, do you acknowledge that you caused this mess?
Publicly.
She publicly denounced the government's handling of the crisis. An attempt to publicly rebut rumors of a divorce.
Widely.
Over the years, St. Peter has evolved into a stock character that is now widely used in jokes, cartoons, comedies, dramas, and plays.
This product is widely used in many parts of the world.
Dispute.
It's just the familiar dispute between Republicans and Democrats. Both sides in the dispute have agreed to go to arbitration.
Justify.
These reasons are not sufficient to justify the ban. It's so hard to justify.
Morally.
He felt morally responsible for the accident.
Holy.
Fish is a limbless, cold-blooded vertebrate animal with gills and fins living wholly in water.
Vigorously.
Bitterly.
They complained bitterly.
Object. Why do you object to his proposal? Many local people object to the building of a new recreation center.
Idea. A good idea. Going camping at this time of year is a good idea. His idea. We should consider his idea for our next project.
Strongly.
These international companies have developed strongly recently.
Close the window, please. The wind is blowing strongly outside. Wisdom. She was regarded as a woman of great wisdom when making decisions. The wisdom of their decision made many others quite surprised. Suggest.
Could you suggest some interesting novels?
They suggest going fishing this weekend.
Pole.
Water pollution. Water pollution is a topic of concern all over the world.
Air pollution. Air pollution is causing health problems for citizens in the area.
Otherwise. He lent me money. Otherwise, I couldn't pay off the bank loan on time. Put on more clothes. Otherwise, you'll get a cold.
Tentatively.
Integrity.
Personal professional artistic integrity. Example: personal professional artistic integrity.
Drama.
Over the years, St. Peter has evolved into a stock character that is now widely used in jokes, cartoons, comedies, dramas, and plays.
Gas prices are increasing dramatically compared to the first quarter this year.
Opera.
After the operation. She is very weak after the operation. An emergency operation. The doctor couldn't come to see you because he had to perform an emergency operation last night.
Orchestra. Billy wants to join the orchestra, so he is practicing very hard on his violin. There are nearly 50 people in this orchestra.
Recital.
Contemporary. He is a contemporary artist. Lisa was not a fan of contemporary dance.
Observe.
The teacher observed the class intently. They've observed his behavior for a long time and found nothing suspicious.
Organize.
Assemble.
All the students were asked to assemble in the main hall. Example: he was distracted and unable to assemble his thoughts.
Attend.
My sister and I are attending the same school. Govern school attendance. We should create some laws to govern school attendance.
Resign. My father resigned as a police officer after 20 years. 2 members resigned from the club after having a row with the leader.
Establish.
When was this museum established? The university was established in 1990.
Ceremony.
The graduation ceremony was huge. The opening ceremony for the Olympics was amazing. Guest. She went to the party as Cindy's guest. They came to the conference even though they were not on the guest list. Poetry. Would you like to join our poetry club? His poetry is very unique.
Discussion. Today's discussion. Today's discussion is about the increasing pollution. Have a discussion. We will have a discussion on this matter in tomorrow's meeting.
Ballet.
Example: I was attracted to the idea of working for a ballet company.
Singer.
She is different from other singers, since she doesn't want to become famous. She just loves singing and writing songs.
You have a great voice. I think you will soon become a famous singer.
Anthology.
Classical.
Classical music. My parents prefer listening to classical music.
My grandparents like listening to 18th century classical music.
Amateur.
Example: he does not want to be an amateur and is training hard to become a professional.
Drama.
Contrast.
It is interesting to contrast the British legal system with the American one. It was certainly a battle of contrasting styles.
Differ.
He is quite different from other students. Men and women are very different from each other.
Markedly.
Distinguish. These two words are difficult for the beginners to distinguish. Can you distinguish either of the twin sisters?
Variety. A variety of plants. There are a variety of plants in this forest. A variety of reasons. She quit her job for a variety of reasons.
Estimate or estimate.
The wildfire is estimated to kill many kinds of animals and burn down numerous homes. I estimated that there would be 4 more people.
Region.
There is a lack of food in this region.
There are several churches in this region.
Compare.
According to the experts, the economy is doing relatively well compared to previous years.
That seems expensive. Have you compared prices in other shops?
Resemble.
She doesn't resemble her elder sister in any way.
Price.
It will be hard to sell this house for a high price because it is in a bad state. House prices. You shouldn't buy a house at this time because house prices are increasing.
Distinct.
The fact that he didn't speak a foreign language put him at a distinct disadvantage. There was a distinct smell of gas.
Background. You can see the special effects in the background. Someone is laughing in the background of the set.
Alike.
Evidence. Enough evidence. Because there was not enough evidence to convict him, he was released. Scientific evidence. The researchers haven't found any scientific evidence for the theory of magic.
Manner. An aggressive manner. He talked to us in an aggressive manner. His manner. His manner is very polite.
Equivalent.
The food the airline serves in coach class is equivalent to that served in first class. His silence is equivalent to an admission of guilt.
Copy. The girl tried to copy her idol's style.
George Lucas tried to destroy every existing copy of the Star Wars Christmas special. Score.
High score. In order to get a high score in the upcoming exam, you should read more books.
A penalty in the last minute of the game leveled the score 2-2.
Twin.
Can you distinguish either of the twin sisters? There is a slight difference between the twin brothers.
Genetically.
Genetically modified food, or GMF, can be harmful to the environment.
Contrast. Crisis.
Financial crisis. The financial crisis is expected to end this year. Greece is suffering from a horrible debt crisis.
Political. Political conflicts. There are more and more political conflicts among states. Political issues. Political issues are too complicated for me to understand.
Severe. I know that he has severe punishments for his children. A severe storm spread through this village that caused 2 people to go missing last night.
Resolve.
The countries in Europe are trying to resolve the budget deficit.
I spoke to the restaurant's manager about this problem. Hopefully, it will be resolved soon.
Cash.
How do you want to pay? Cash or credit?
Our main problem is lack of cash.
Dilemma.
To face a dilemma. Example, the government is reportedly in a dilemma about making the next fiscal year's budget.
Pose.
He adopted a relaxed pose for the camera. The players strutted and posed for the cameras.
Solve.
Solve the problem. Instead of blaming each other, we should think about how to solve the problem.
There are many ways to solve the problem.
Face. Face the challenges. A family must stick together to face the challenges of life. Face the truth. You'd better face the truth and accept it.
Damage.
The front of the car was damaged in the accident. The forest was seriously damaged by the fire.
Prospect.
I narrowed my list of prospective destinations to my 3 top choices. The candidate wanted to know the prospects of promotion in the job.
Condition. Excellent condition. This car is in excellent condition. Poor condition. We cannot sell the house for a high price because it's in poor condition.
Exacerbate.
His aggressive reaction only exacerbated the situation. Example, his aggressive reaction only exacerbated the situation.
Conflict.
Political conflicts. There are more and more political conflicts among states.
After continuous conflict for many years, the two countries finally live side by side in peace.
Symptom.
The symptoms of bronchitis include fever, chest pain, and a cough that brings up mucus. Example, don't ignore any symptoms you have.
Tension. There was a lot of tension between the 2 people in the room. I want to get a massage to relieve the tension.
Eradicate.
Diphtheria has been virtually eradicated in the United States. Example, diphtheria has been virtually eradicated in the United States.
Intervene.
She might have been killed if the neighbors hadn't intervened. Example, government officials refused to intervene in the recent disputes.
Problem. Solve the problem. Instead of blaming each other, we should think about how to solve the problem. Math problem. Can you help me with this math problem?
Complication.
She will have to spend 2 more days in the hospital due to complications during the surgery.
Hey, bro!
Concept.
Although Uncle Sam is one of their most familiar icons, many Americans have little or no concept of his origins.
Here is the basic science concept.
Freedom. Freedom of the press. Important human rights include the freedom of the press. I believe that freedom is the most important thing in life.
Democracy.
To embrace democracy, feminism, Islam. Example, a paradox. Better educated Africans love the idea of democracy, so why don't they vote?
Justice. All people deserve equal rights and justice. The purpose of the law is to bring justice to the poor.
Conjecture.
The truth of his conjecture was confirmed by the newspaper report.
Consensus.
There is a growing consensus of opinion on this issue. She is skilled at achieving consensus on sensitive issues.
Dogma.
A dogmatic approach.
Framework.
Ambiguous.
Internet culture is an ambiguous term. Example, internet culture is an ambiguous term.
Biased.
Compelling.
A compelling need, desire. Example, the evidence was so compelling that he felt constrained to accept it.
Credible.
A credible explanation witness.
Flawed.
Valid.
I need to make certain that my passport is valid if we plan to go overseas this December. Quotation is valid for 7 days.
Result. He died as a result of cancer. Did you see the test results?
Reason. A good reason. He asked me to give him a good reason for my lateness. Give a reason. He never gives a reason for anything he does.
Sample.
Each of the students must submit one sample in the next biology class.
They introduced the products and gave us one sample each.
Question.
Look through the questions. Please look through the questions and do the exercises below.
This is a difficult question to answer.
Referee.
A referee must know all the rules of the game.
The referee signaled a foul.
Comment.
A few comments. I just have a few comments on your proposal.
Pointed comment. He gave her a pointed comment about her performance during her time in this company.